Nobody's gonna be mad. Everything's gonna be alright. Just come out of the closet.
Why is queerness so often in the closet in adult animation? In our current age of media, seeing canonically gay characters on screen is no longer an uncommon occurrence. Yet in the world of adult animated sitcoms, it can often seem as though queerness still remains hidden, denied, or played for laughs. In this video, we'll be looking at the 3 longest-running adult animated sitcoms, The Simpsons, South Park, and Family Guy, to explore their portrayals of queerness, specifically looking at the concept of the closet and how it is able to both expand and limit representation. Are these jokes simply lazy and homophobic, relics left over from a less LGBTQ-friendly time, or do their choices say something deeper about the place of queer identity within the genre?
Are you queer? Probably.
Queer theorist Judith Butler argues that gender isn't a fixed identity, but performance, something that we do to align with cultural definitions of what a man or a woman should be. Family Guy's Stewie Griffin, with his flamboyance and love of musical theatre,
And I really want to see Hamilton.
repeatedly fails at performing the masculinity expected of him. This failure is funny not just because failure is a timeless source of comedy, because it reveals the absurdity of having those expectations to begin with. Jack Halberstam, in his book The Queer Art of Failure, argues that failing to meet these societal expectations can actually be freeing. Family Guy, as a parody of the American family ideal, thrives on all of its characters regularly failing to align with these expectations. Stewie's inability to perform as a real man, or even to perform as a normal baby, is all part of the show's identity as an absurd parody of the Western family ideal. His queerness, whether intended to refer to his sexuality, or just his deviation from the norm, exposes the fragility of these cultural expectations. So is Stewie's queerness just a lowbrow gay joke, or is it part of the show's broader satire of its subject? And would the show confirming him as canonically gay or bisexual make him a better character, or would that rob him of the strange, liberating space he is currently afforded, forcing him into more rigid social expectations of good gay representation? The closest canonical confirmation of Stewie Griffin's orientation came in the episode Send in Stewie, Please. Written by openly gay writer Gary Janetti, who is behind many of the show's Stewie-focused storylines, Send in Stewie has the titular character sent to therapy, which at one point leads to the topic of his sexuality.
Anyway, fluid is something I hear being tossed around a lot now, but I'm confident in my heterosexuality. That's a word, right?
Yes, of course.
Okay, it just sounded strange for a second.
It's a moment of self-awareness and confusion for the usually confident baby.
If anything, I'm less gay than I used to be.
Janetti explained to TV Line that Stewie's awareness of his sexuality is this uncertain thing, and that needs to stay as it is. His uncertainty gives him a vulnerability, which is something that we need to maintain for the series. That very vulnerability makes Stewie Griffin more than a parody. It allows queer audiences to see something of themselves in his ambiguity, and even to find that ambiguity, and the humour presented by it as freeing, rather than a point of embarrassment.
You know, sometimes I don't know where I fit in. I just want to be like everybody else, but nobody's interested in the things that I'm interested in. They think I'm weird.
There goes the last lingering thread of my heterosexuality.
One of the very few recurring lesbian characters within adult animated sitcoms, Patty Bouvier, came out in the 2005 episode There's Something About Marrying, 16 seasons into the show's run.
But Veronica's a girl's name. Did you know that? I'm marrying a woman. I'm gay.
Long before coming out, Patty was already queer-coded through masculinity and spinsterhood, traits that have been historically associated with queerness in women. When Patty comes out, it just becomes named rather than implied. It could be said that this may be an example of the show just exploiting lesbian stereotypes for comedy, but much of the humour around Patty doesn't actually come from her behaviour. Instead, much like Stewie, the joke is found in the reactions from straight characters, particularly Homer and Marge. Having this reaction coming from Homer highlights the comedy in his hypocrisy. He himself is a very flawed character, and hardly an attractive person, yet he finds himself disgusted by Patty's presentation. In There's Something About Marrying, Marge is all for gay marriage, until it's from her own family, bringing a different kind of hypocrisy to light for comedic effect.
I love you, I love gay marriage. So I'd be a super hypocrite if I didn't love your gay marriage, right?
Despite Patty's character being quite progressive and authentic for 2005, as opposed to the lovable asexual portrayals of comedy lesbians at the time, Patty doesn't end the episode still in a queer relationship, and then she doesn't get a recurring one again for 14 years. As opposed to Stewie, who is ambiguous and changing, Patty is named and stable, but not fully developed. This gives us an interesting look at the other side of this spectrum of representation, how a form of the closet may persist even with characters who are out and labelled.
Hell no, I like girls.
We have to come out and say we're gay.
What? Are you insane?
So what happens when a show's major characters are in a confirmed gay relationship? When their queerness goes from being ambiguous to being actualized? In 2015, South Park aired the episode Tweek and Craig, canonizing the fanship of the two characters. In many of the episodes since, and the spin-off games, the two have been regularly seen together, holding hands, spending time together, and going through bumps in their relationship. As a couple, they get similar treatment to the show's long-running heterosexual pairings, such as Stan and Wendy or Tolkien and Nicole. The contents of Tweek and Craig is especially interesting due to it being in Season 19, a season with a primary focus on its satire of political correctness, to place a genuine depiction of a relationship between two boys, one that they intend to follow through with, within the season. South Park shows that its subversion doesn't mean rejecting progress as a whole, but instead challenging the way PC culture can become performative. In the South Park Colorado of 2015, queerness is not hidden but celebrated by the town, with everyone encouraging the two boys to date, and actually getting upset when they break up. The queer relationship gets commodified, placing a responsibility on the queer characters to now perform the perfect gay relationship to appease society. They may be out and accepted, but that acceptance actually comes with more oppressive conditions. This is the case for many out gay characters in media today. They don't have the responsibility to just represent one singular character's experience, but every single gay person. They have the responsibility to be good and correct, lest they affect the public opinion of the group as a whole. When talking about South Park in particular, it's impossible to do so well without addressing the political sentiments of the period. Season 19, released in 2015, sits right between a cultural shift. In 2015, gay marriage was legalized across all 50 US states. Yet a year later, for Season 20, South Park is having to cover topics like Make America Great Again and nostalgia baiting. The most important choice for queer representation in the show comes in the seasons that follow. In the episode Put It Down from Season 21, Tweek and Craig fight and then get back together after better understanding each other. In keeping up with this relationship despite it not being a necessary device, South Park resists the pull of societal aggression and the closet, keeping queer identity around not as a surface-level political gesture, but as you would with any other part of life.
Oh, please, Craig, we're 10 times gayer than you. Oh, yeah? We're super duper triple dog gay. Oh, yeah? We're ultra super stamp it, no erases, mega gay.
Wow, look at how gay we are. I am so gay with my gayness. Me too. I'm a homo. Any room for one more? Hell yeah!
So, what is funny? Is the representation of queerness in these shows too flawed? Do they rely too much on stereotypes? Are writers just too scared to let their characters out of the closet? For a genre built on satire that takes aim at everyone and everything, it's hard to draw one catch-all line in the sand. And I think that's a good thing. Maybe that's the point. If we police a performance from characters on screen based on an abstract societal concept of what is positive representation, then we also risk policing real-life queer people, obsessing over characters and demanding that they define themselves on our terms.
Those pants and those shoes say you pound butt.
Hey, now that's not true. My shoes don't say I pound butt.
No, your shoes say you take it in the butt.
Terms that have changed over the last century and terms that will change again over the next. Queerness initially meant to refer to anything or anyone defying social norms in any way. And if that's the case, then that ambiguity, that messiness, not altering who you are despite how much society urges you to, all of that must be the most authentically queer representation of all.
Now, over the years, a newsman learns a number of things that for one reason or another, he just cannot report. It doesn't seem to matter now, so the following people are gay.
Turn it off.
Just a second.